Harlem has always been a renaissance. Harlem has always been a beautiful concrete jungle where men and women have always played hopscotch and double-dutched for change. Harlem has beautiful roots, gentrified within the concrete systemic and systemic systems of the street corners in Harlem. Harlem Renaissance was a changing of cultural guard. It's essentially saying that we came that far, shattered roadblocks and racial barriers to become legends, calling impossible by its true name, breakable. Becoming the descendants of kings and queens, record-breaking lineages of hope and change, for those who have been fiends who refuse to break under the scowl of the pressure, those who spun pain to passion, split hope into action, slipped up yet gained traction, those who are prolific, those who are from the cave bird sings to knowing why the black girl cried, because no matter how many centuries passed, they would never be able to deal in tight quarters, too reminiscent of slave ship quarters, never be built to follow orders, because back then, too many men in the 1800s were sold on the blocks for quarters. Re-backtrack centuries later when men in the Harlem Renaissance were pushed off the block and gentrified for quarters. See, this was us. We were the good, the bad, and the ugly in the 1920s. The rights delayed and not denied, the right to fight and the will to die for what we did believe in. See, that never changed, it just shifted with one thing in common. We still soared like hawks and scribes. We became a Harlem Renaissance. From Langston Hughes to Billie Holiday to Claude McKay, it's so much to say. From back in the day, the black was placed in a date, so come night, them stars will forever shine bright. Believe me when I tell you this. Believe me, during that time rhyme, we went from board ships to boardrooms. Laced history with this legacy black. Went to war until history retained black as the sky. We clapped hip-hop culture black and blue 50 years later with hip-hop punchlines. Went from sold out and picket signs and protest signs to sold out show signs. Became an epic way before these names have ever been in lights. But we promised that one day we would show the world that Technicolor could shine just as bright. So in the 1940s, we began to remix the definition of shine, asking this question that one day, who else could spark passion, spit poems, rock music, and redefine fashion and culture all in its own? Becoming post-slavery and reconstructing this culture, becoming a Harlem Renaissance. From Langston Hughes to Billie Holiday to Claude McKay, it's always been so much to say from back in the day. Black was pacing the day, so come night, these stars will forever shine bright. So during the Harlem Renaissance, we weren't placed up inside of a box. We broke outside the box and ripped the doors of opportunity open. So the day would come when we no longer looked at as tokens, and to a black woman we respected in the eyes of the media. This is a cultural remix of a Renaissance shining like a hawk flying across the sky, trying not to have his wings be clipped by segregation and gentrification inside of this nation, remixing this information to the point where we flew above the stars, we named the constellations in our name. See, we've been a movement since Garvey painted African eyes and why, and we became prolific. We saw and we flew like a renaissance in Harlem, a movie that never stopped showing until this very day. It's essentially the Harlem Renaissance.